Greetings and welcome to the energy of Leo. I do welcome you. The fifth house is open. My name is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Tarot of the Twin Sun is a functional division within the Order of the Twin Sun. I do welcome you to the channel and its content. Please take only what you will. This shall not resonate for everyone, but if it does, the Singularity is a tool, a secret tool, used to see specific modes of karma that may be eclipsing the energy of Leo for the time being. That is mid-April 2021. The same time, it's sort of a chakra or a wheel that spins. We'll go ahead and look into the gear of that in particular, see how fast or slow and in which direction it is going. I am working from a deck from 1890. It's a very old deck. I do appreciate your patience and thank you for showing up. Okay. There's a shift on the way of doing things, releasing passions as well, anything that has to do with the past, yet there is a type of intensity that revolves around detached ways of seeing things. This detachment is a new perspective that you may be pulling forth, ways of having truth, yet moving away from people who may be despondent or too emotional for your liking. There's also something about strength emerging. I knew it. Okay, interesting. So your 7th house, as well as the 10th, is operating here in terms of challenges. This came up in the reverse, the 6 of Swords in the reverse, so we'll put it like that. Okay. Okay. What I'm seeing here is a shift that has to do with social inclinations, as well as the way you perceive and are detached in this perceiving. Something about you is coming in direct conflict of interest in terms of heart, as well as no heart, disheartedness. There's something about the way you bring about key modes, key actions that help you to bring about certain realities, okay? One of them is informed by the energy of Aquarius. Your 7th house is activated, and it's very strong, this Aquarian energy. Not only that, there is the co-ruler of Uranus here, causing a shift or a shakedown, shifting of energies. If you are in context with others, these others may appear to either diminish in their power or strengthen. There certainly is something about you strengthening in the vision, especially the retroactive vision of preserving a sense of an emotional body, seeing ways of being untouched by the fixed nature that is going on around you, meaning that there's something deeper within you that has this chaotic sort of tumultuousness, but then there also is like an outer body sort of floatiness that is suspended. Where you're coming from is a place of being a student, perhaps being concerned with something from the past that had to do with the source of power, okay, where this was all coming from. Now there is a type of Uranian quality which is all new, all fresh, and a bit chaotic. This power essentially coming out of nowhere and perhaps sideswiping you, who knows? It really depends on the context of your own personal reading. But for the energy of Leo for the time being, this has to do with a shifting of interests in terms of social contexts, in terms of where you're placing the idea of of community or the idea of social standing. There's a shifting going on here, and this can be good or bad for you. I see nothing but good for you in particular. There's something about the past that has been informing you in terms of so-called realities, bringing forth a sense of wholeness or a sense of health, and this has to do with mental health, especially, perhaps being a source of your empowerment. Now, there is something futuristic and perhaps filled with truth, but also in indirect, indirect, indirect sort of difficulty with something. It's truth versus escapism. Something about that that has to do with trying to find the center and really coming into that wheel that we were talking about. The wheel is here, wheel of fortune, the chakra system, and there's something about this about the rising and falling of certain base desires versus more movements towards freedom and elation through moksha. Okay, freedom. There's something here that is the evolution of the very core truth that is emerging, that is going to be given to you from people of power, but also people who know how to associate themselves and bring in a sense of empowerment through either children or perhaps through externalized ways of the energy of Capricorn, the 10th house, the 5th or the 10th house is here. And it could be that you're coming into power. Eventually, the gradient would release itself, the chaos would release itself, and you might find yourself in a predicament. There's something about your future self that will give to your past self a sense of this truth or a sense of this communication that is coming from either your superiors or from yourself in a futuristic sort of perspective. Okay, and this will be very empowering. The Six of Swords is strong in your reading, very strong. And because it came up in the reverse, there is a challenging sort of position with the Six of Swords. A way of thinking here emerges out of the Six, but also the Five of Swords that relates to your 7th house. Some form of interaction with someone who was learning something from you in the past will possibly resurface in terms of the context of you taking off from the situation or from them, vice versa. There's something that needs to be addressed in terms of the health, especially the mental health of that connection, and to note that that connection still gives you a sense of empowerment in terms of generating energy for the wheel of fortune to spin in your favor or possibly even against your favor. It really depends on the context of your own reading. But embrace that. So there's something that you've left in terms of the abstraction and the elation that comes through mental release. Also bring forth a sense of peace through this mental release, a sense of calmer waters. Okay, as you approach the future, beware that there are certain contracts or possible commitments that you may not be totally prepared for. They may come randomly and they might seem fortunate, but there may be a double-edged nature to them, meaning that these contracts can be really binding in a certain way. At the same time, they represent the crown of creation for you, some sort of new horizon, a new way of seeing things, or perhaps coming into context with that Moon in Libra energy that may have been triggered about a month and a half ago. In terms of karma and advice for karma, there's something about the season of Taurus that will help you to find stability through the methodology and the slow yet steadfast approach and the stamina that is required to find out something that you may be inherently loyal to. You may encounter a mirror, someone who is you're equal in some sort of grounded way to externalize commitments or projects or workplace energetic resources. And coerce with them in some sort of way. And I stress the word coerce to really bring forth some sort of magical outcome out of your reality, okay? Please do not abuse this power, and this is just a matter of self-knowing. But I do see power coming to the energy of Leo, and on that note, I will bid you adieu. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.